The biggest power shift inside Mercedes didn't even happen on the track. It went down quietly, behind closed doors. While everyone was busy watching George Russell lead the standings, something way more serious was unfolding in the background. The second Kimi Antonelli crushed Shanghai with a gap of over 5 seconds. It flipped a switch internally. And here's the reality: despite Toto Wolff publicly backing Russell as the clear number one for 2025, things aren't as locked in as they seem. Now the boss has subtly changed the game, opening the door to a performance-based pecking order that could shake everything up overnight. If the points swing, Russell could lose that grip fast. No warning, no hesitation. This isn't just about racing anymore. This is contracts, power and control all colliding at once. Mercedes spent years shaping the post-Lewis Hamilton era around Russell as the face of the team. He was set up as the long-term leader, the guy getting priority on strategy, development direction, and full internal support. When Antonelli stepped in for 2025 as the young prodigy, the roles were crystal clear. Russell leads, Antonelli learns. Even Wolff made it clear, pointing back to the Rosberg versus Hamilton chaos as proof that equal status drivers can blow everything up. But now it's 2026, and the numbers are telling a completely different story. Antonelli isn't just hanging around. He's right there, matching Russell's pace, sitting only 4 points behind, and pulling off a massive win from pole in China that changed the whole vibe inside the team. Still, here's where it gets interesting. The real story isn't what Mercedes is saying out loud, it's what they're keeping quiet. Wolff keeps saying there's no pressure on Antonelli right now, but that's only part of the story. Behind the scenes, Mercedes has always built contracts with performance triggers, meaning everything can flip if one driver pulls ahead in the points. So now the real question hits hard. If Antonelli keeps over-delivering like this, will Mercedes stay loyal to Russell or make a cold, calculated switch to their new star? And if that moment comes, what does Russell even do? Does he push back and fight for control, or does he slowly lose his grip on the team he was built around? Before going further, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, because what unfolds here completely exposes who really has the power inside Mercedes right now. This isn't just teammates going wheel to wheel anymore, it's a full strategic turning point for the team's future. And everything comes down to one idea: controlled hierarchy versus pure performance chaos. Back in 2025, when Wolff called Russell the clear number one, that wasn't just talk, it reflected how the team was structured deep down. Lead drivers always get those quiet advantages: better strategy calls, first access to upgrades, and a stronger voice in how the car gets developed. It's not always written out clearly, but inside the paddock, it's known as soft veto power. Russell had that edge, that influence over the direction of the team, but Antonelli's performance in Shanghai just shook that entire system in a big way. Winning by 5.5 seconds isn't just dominance, it's a loud, data-backed warning shot at the entire team structure. In Formula One, performance equals leverage, and when a younger driver starts smashing expectations like that, it instantly triggers internal reviews. Teams like Mercedes don't run on emotions. They move on projections and cold numbers. And right now, Antonelli's rise is climbing fast, way faster than Russell can comfortably brush off. Take a closer look at Wolff after that race. His body language says more than his words. When he talks about Antonelli's win, there's no wild celebration, just controlled, careful acknowledgement. That's not random at all. It's calculated. It shows a team boss trying to juggle two problems at once, keeping things steady with Russell while quietly preparing for a possible shift in power. And here's something even more telling. Wolff still calls Russell the lead driver, but he's not locking it in with strong, absolute statements anymore. That slight change hits different. It leaves room for movement, for adjustment, for a switch if things keep going this way. Now the situation gets even deeper. Mercedes is heading into a crucial phase with new regulations coming and long-term agreements shaping the future of the sport. Having a young star like Antonelli ready to take over isn't just exciting, it's a massive strategic advantage. It's about branding, control, and setting up the next era of dominance all at the same time. Sponsors, brand partners, even engineers, they all start gravitating toward the hottest talent in the room. And if Antonelli keeps delivering like this, the push to elevate him won't just come from lap times, it's going to hit from the business side too. That kind of pressure builds fast, and once it starts, it's hard to stop. Now flip it over to Russell, because his spot isn't as secure as it looks. Yeah, he's leading the standings, but the gap is tight. And more importantly, he hasn't dropped a statement win like Antonelli's Shanghai Masterclass. From a political angle, Russell is defending control he hasn't fully locked in yet, and that's a dangerous place to be. This is exactly when rivals start circling. Red Bull, with Max Verstappen, has already added fuel by praising Antonelli's future potential. That's not just respect, that's mind games. By hyping Antonelli publicly, it quietly cranks up the pressure inside Mercedes to take him seriously as a top contender. It's a classic move. Build up the rising star and force the team into a tough call. At the same time, Ferrari, with Charles Leclerc and Hamilton, wins either way if Mercedes starts clashing internally. History shows it clearly. When teammates fight for the top spot, mistakes creep in, strategies fall apart, and points slip away. Ferrari doesn't even need to outpace Mercedes straight up, they just need Mercedes to trip over itself. And this is where everything starts to stack up. If Antonelli jumps ahead of Russell in the standings, even by a few points, Mercedes hits a breaking point. Do they stick with their original plan and risk losing the title by not backing the faster driver, or do they switch things up mid-season, pushing Antonelli forward and throwing Russell into a full-blown internal fight? And this is where things could really spiral inside Mercedes, because once a team starts questioning its own hierarchy, every single decision gets heavier. Strategy calls, pit timing, upgrade distribution, nothing stays neutral anymore. Every move starts looking like it favors one driver over the other, and that's when tension builds fast. If Antonelli keeps stacking strong results, the engineers and strategists naturally begin leaning toward what's working. That means more attention on his feedback, more focus on his setup preferences, and slowly, the balance inside the garage starts shifting. It won't be announced, it won't be obvious, but it will be felt everywhere. For Russell, this becomes a pressure zone like never before. He's no longer just chasing wins, he's defending his authority inside the team. Every race becomes a statement, every mistake gets magnified, and every small loss hits harder than usual. That kind of pressure can either sharpen a driver or crack their momentum completely. And don't forget, contracts and long-term plans are always in the background. Mercedes isn't just thinking about this season, they're thinking about the next era of Formula One. If Antonelli is seen as the future, the shift won't be emotional. It'll be calculated and timed perfectly. So now, everything is on a knife edge. One big result, one swing in momentum, and the entire structure could flip overnight. Because inside Mercedes right now, this isn't just about who's faster, it's about who the team is willing to build around when it matters most. Make no mistake, Russell is not the type to sit back and accept a quiet downgrade. His whole career has been about proving he belongs at the very top, and if he even senses that Mercedes is leaning toward Antonelli, the response won't be calm. Expect intensity on track and tension off it, because that's when things get risky. We're talking about strategic defiance, aggressive wheel-to-wheel moments between teammates, and trust inside the team starting to crack. You've seen how this plays out before. Look at McLaren with Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. Once both drivers were free to fight, the pace improved, but control slipped away. Mercedes knows this story too well from the Hamilton and Rosberg days, and Wolff understands how fast things can spiral when both sides start pushing. That's why every small detail now matters more than ever. Every call on the pit wall, every radio message, every reaction. Watch closely for the signs. If Antonelli starts getting the better strategy calls, or if radio messages begin to lean slightly in his favor, that's when you know the shift is real. It won't be announced publicly, no big statement, just quiet decisions stacking up race after race until the balance fully flips. And then there's Antonelli himself. His post-race comments don't sound like a driver trying to prove anything anymore. They sound like someone who already believes he belongs. That's not arrogance. That's confidence built on results. And in Formula One, that kind of confidence is step one. Step two is pushing for equal status. And step three is forcing the team into a decision they can't avoid. So now the real question changes completely. It's not about whether Mercedes has a number one driver. It's about how long they can keep pretending the structure hasn't changed. Because if Antonelli keeps performing like this, loyalty to Russell is going to be pushed to the limit in a way we haven't seen since those intense Hamilton-Rosberg years. When that breaking point hits, it won't just decide who wins races. It will shape the entire future of Mercedes as a team. So what do you think? Should Mercedes stay loyal to Russell? Or is it already time to fully back Antonelli as the new number one? Drop your thoughts below and make sure you're subscribed for the next deep dive.